Hello everybody, you should have just watched the lesson 5 practice and we only did half of the notes. You'll do the other half tomorrow, just some examples together. So today I really just want to get your feet wet with this. We're going to do 4 problems and I'd like you to do this on whiteboards or on some scrap paper. Okay, so just like in class, I'm going to show you a problem and then I want you to pause me, solve that problem, and then press play after to check your work. Okay, so here's your first one, 5/8 times 2 1/4. So go ahead and press pause and solve that. Okay, welcome back. For this, I see that I have a fraction here. I get to leave that alone. But 2 1/4, we learned that we need to change this to an improper fraction, and then we can just multiply like usual, right? So I'm gonna rewrite my 5/8 because that's not gonna change. And for 2 1/4, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9/4. Now, of course, I'm going to look to see, can I cross simplify it all? With 8 and 9, I can't. There's not a number other than 1 that goes into both. The same with 5 and 4. So now I can go ahead and I can multiply across the top. 5 times 9 is 45. And I can multiply across the bottom. 8 times 4 is 32. Now, this is improper. Improper fractions are the ones you change to mixed numbers. Because if you have more in the numerator than your denominator, it means you have more than 32 out of 32, which is more than one whole. Okay, so 32 will go into 45 one time. 32 times 1 is 32. So now I need to get from 32 to 45. You can do that by taking 45 minus 32. You could set it up vertically if you wanted, or you could use our number talk strategies and you could count up from 32 to 45. You could subtract your ones place and then your tens, like whatever strategies you want to use. So I know that 5 minus 2 is 3 and 4 minus 3 is 1. It takes 13 to get from 32 to 45. My denominator never changes. So 1 and 13 over 32, 13 30-seconds. That should be your answer. All right, here's your next one. Okay, go ahead and write that down. 1 3/5 times 10/11. And go ahead and press pause and press play when you have it set. Okay, so I see a mixed number here. I'm going to multiply this out. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8/5. And 10/11 is already a fraction. I don't have to change that at all. Before I start multiplying, I'm going to look to see if I can do any cross simplifying. And with this one, I know there's nothing I can do with 8 and 11, but I can change this 5 and 10. I can simplify the 5 and the 10. The largest number that divides into 5 and 10 without a remainder is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I divided them each by 5 and wrote the result. Now I can multiply across the top, but I'm going to use my new numbers. 8 times 2 is 16, and I'm going to multiply across the bottom. 1 times 11 is 11. Now I see, oh, I got another improper fraction. I need to change this into a mixed number. Because if you have 16 out of 11, it means you have more than 1. So 11 goes into 16 one time. So 11 times 1 is 11. And then I know 11 plus 5 is 16. So that's my numerator. And my denominator never changes. So 1 and 5/11. And again, if you want to check it, 11 times 1 is 11 plus 5 is 16/11. Okay, we have 2 left. Here's your next one. 2 1/3 times 3 2/7. Press pause and then press play when you're ready to check. Okay, I'm going to change these both to improper fractions. Again, I can't just multiply the 2 times the 3 and the 1/3 times the 2/7. We saw with the area model that doesn't work. And this isn't the same as 2 times 1/3 times 3 times 2/7. This actually means 2 plus 1/3 times 3 plus 2/7. So you can't do that. All right, 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7/3. 7 times 3 is 21. 22, 23. Oops, and I wrote a 3. It should be a 7. What am I doing? Okay, so now you might be thinking, oh man, I have to multiply 7 by 23. Do you though? No, you don't. Look at, these digits are the same, diagonal from one another. I can cross simplify. Remember, when it's the same digit, the largest number that divides into them is itself. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, and 7 divided by 7 is 1. Now 3 and 23, I know that 3 times 7 is 21 and 3 times 8 is 24. So there's nothing other than 1 that goes into those two. So now I can take 1 times 23, which is 23, and 3 times 1, which is 3. Now all I have to do is simplify this improper fraction. See, we didn't have to do 7 times 23. And I just said 3 times 7 was 21 and 3 times 8 is 24, and that's too big, so it's going to be a 7. And to get from 21 to 23, that takes 2, and our denominator never changes. So 7 2/3 is what you should have. All right, last one. I have 1/8 times 4 4/5. Go ahead and press pause and solve it. Press play when you're ready. All right, I'm going to leave 1/8 alone. 5 times 4 is 20, and 20 plus 4 is 24, and my 5 stays the same. Okay, before you start multiplying out, I want you to look to see if you can cross simplify. I know with 1 and 5 I can't, because if one of those numbers is 1, then dividing by 1 is not going to change anything, right? But 8 and 24. Hey, I know that 8 times 3 is 24. You know what that means? That means that 8 divides into 24. 8 is the largest number that divides into both 8 and 24. So 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 24, we just said, divided by 8 was 3. So now I can multiply across the top. 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 5 is 5. My final answer is 3/5. That's a little bit easier than trying to simplify 24/40, right? If you got 24/40, that's fine, but it can simplify to 3/5, and you can go straight there if you use this cross-simplifying method. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck with the rest of your stuff today.